Indestructible Gaming. Select your character. Musket Shot. Mr. K. Let the battle begin. Get ready for a battle unknown. 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Indestructible Gaming and More. I am Muscashot. Alongside me is my co-host, Mr. K. Mr. K, greetings.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the King's Castle.
Yes. Greetings, fine, kind sir. Or whatever they say. I don't know. I'm just making stuff
That's
up.
close enough. Fine,
Yeah.
fine, sir, makes sense.
Yeah.
Fine,
So-
squire.
Yeah, right. Squire. So this week, or this episode, we're talking about Chivalry 2, medieval fighting game. So it's a game developed by Torn Banner Studios and published by Tripwire Interactive. It's out now, pretty much on everything for the most part. It's this one's a mature 17 plus, so if your kids want to play, you might want to kind of look at it first. I think most of it is.
I'm
I don't
pretty
think
sure
it's,
you can turn off the blood if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's something you can do on it, but there's a lot of blood and gore in it. I don't
You can
think there's
chop
swearing,
off
but
People,
I
you
don't
can literally chop off people's legs and heads.
yeah, it's pretty gory sometimes. But yeah, it's out now. Mr. K, if you want to kind of give it a sort of an overview.
If you couldn't tell already, this is a PvP game where you go to war during medieval times. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of like if Call of Duty was in medieval times and they only used, swords and crossbows and stuff. But there's different modes you can do with different classes. And when you play, you can unlock more classes by playing those classes that have different weapons. And there's a bunch to it. But that's pretty much the synopsis. You get two different sides, Agatha and it was Agatha and something else. Mason.
Oh, okay.
It was Team Agatha or Mason. Those are the two teams you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they put you on one side or the other, though. I don't think you get to choose.
Right.
But there's different modes you can play as. There's different modes you can go in. There's your normal PvP game, which is 64 players. That's the max. You can go 30 as well. Of course, you got your training grounds. You can do an AI battle if you desire. Pretty sure you can do that. You can do that only by yourself, because I think me and Musket Shot tried to do that, but we weren't able to.
Right.
But there's what else was there? There's the arenas, right?
Yep.
The arena where it's a free for all,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think that's pretty much it. Other than the normal ones, like team deathmatch and kind of like capture the flag-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can customize your character.
Yeah, you can. As you level up, you gain coins, and you can use the coins to get the different customization items.
Right. You can buy weapons and unlock different weapons and stuff like that.
And as well as voices and various haircuts. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, the battling online is I think 40 or 64 players. A lot of those are you're fighting in a certain type of battlefield.
Yeah.
Or
doing an objective in the battlefield.
Yeah. There's you might be you might be on a team where you're storming a castle type of thing, and it'll tell you what you need to do. And then if you're on the defending team, it'll tell you what you need to defend and stuff like that. And then if you fail defending, it'll tell you where to go next. Okay, now I defend this, so it's kind of,
there's a lot to the combat as well. But once you start to understand how it works and get in the motion of how the battlefield works with other people, you start to get the hang of it. It's a
Mhm.
little bit of a learning curve, but once you get past it, you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
Like there's kicking, there's bashing, there's swinging, there's stabbing.
Yeah. Yeah. You
It's
can.
really everything. You can even throw your weapon at people,
Yeah.
no matter what the size.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You can throw your sword and.
And you can also pick up items in the world and use them. Even if they're off dead bodies, you can use them as well.
Mhm.
And you can, even if you wanted to, chop off body parts and use them as weapons.
Yeah, the fighting is very chaotic and violent. I mean, it's just like,
Especially when it's a free for all.
yeah, when it's a free for all, it's, oh my goodness, it's you almost have to have eyes behind your head, because it's like you could be fighting one person and then right behind, then all of a sudden someone behind you will just like take you out.
I would say 64 players is also chaotic at times.
Oh yeah,
It depends on where you are. Some maps seem less chaotic than others.
yeah, and I think depending on what you want to do with your character too. You know,
Yeah, because you got your archers and your
because I mean when you're in a 64 player battles, there's objectives to reach. You can either be like me, where a lot of times where I just run right into the heat of it and start swinging, and five seconds later I'm dead. Or you can really take your time getting to things and sort of get maybe to a certain spot where you are more, if like you're an archer, you can maybe hit people from up far or up high, or in a location where you're not going to be killed. But
a thing to know about going into these multiplayer games, though, is that even though at the beginning you may have an advantage, that can literally change at the very end of the match. Because you can go into games where when you go into like 64 player battles, each sequence of events is by you capturing something or doing a specific thing. And each one of those levels gets you closer to victory. And they're like visualized by these circles on the top of your screen. And each time you do one of these color and the color of your team. It's presented by red or blue. So say I was on the red team and we're on the very last bubble. Blue team can win. It's not an impossibility. It's happened before to me in musket shot. So if you got an advantage, don't expect to win. Because it could very much change in the very heat of the battle. It can just flop on over.
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, and in the heat of the battle, you can actually hit your own people and hurt them.
There is team damage.
Yeah.
Another thing I should mention is that you can scream when you're running into battle, which is a very fun thing to do.
Yeah, and you'll see if you're playing this game, you'll hear that all the time.
Oh yeah, everyone screams in that game. It's kind of like it's kind of like one of those things you have to do when you play.
Yeah. You can heal yourself.
Yes, and you can get downed, and you can actually crawl to people and beg to get healed. Or I've never seen a game like that kind of do, which I do like.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, sometimes when you crawl, that's when the opponent or enemy will stab you.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Or kill you. So it's like, oh well.
But it's nice when people do get you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can also use catapults to launch other players, which I did enjoy to do a lot.
Yeah. 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 They have the big wooden, I don't know, storming type thing on wheels there. I don't even know what it's called, but you can push that at the castle doors and stuff like that if it calls for it.
There's a lot of things that could happen in the game. It's very enjoyable. I feel like if you like chaotic combat and if you like just, the medieval times, swords, and I think you'd all enjoy it. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it, you get it.
You can definitely, you can definitely tell though with the weapons that certain weapons are heavy weapons, and it makes it a lot.
It makes it feel like it's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're swinging the weapon in the game, you can definitely tell that it would be difficult to swing the weapon and without proper training and actually do damage sometimes. So they've put that in the game, and I think that you really notice that when you play it.
The music, I like the music a lot because it's so sometimes in video games, music has music where if you play it and enjoy it enough, you probably you won't even see it because you're enjoying the game so much. But then sometimes video games have it so when you are in the very heat of the game, the music kicks up and it hypes you up for what you're about to do. This game does that. Because in the battle, the music goes absolutely crazy when it comes to 64 battles, and everyone's just on the battlefield slapping each other with swords.
Yeah.
It goes crazy.
Yeah. There was a battle that we did where we were inside a castle, and there were no weapons. It was just us grabbing chairs, candlesticks.
Yeah, it was like
a whole bunch of stuff. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, you can go around, grab anything in the room, and just smash people over the heads with it.
Well, you just use your fists and punch people and knock people down. It was that one was pretty funny because I was kind of unexpected. So,
but there's other times where you'd be fighting people, and if you and them are at the same kind of level in terms of gameplay, you can get into a pretty good combat for at least like a minute or two, depending. Like fighting can get you. It's like you'd have moments with these other players. Like, how like you'd watch something on like TV and you'd see them have these cool fights and you'd be like, oh yeah, I want to do that in a game. This is a good game where that could happen.
Right.
Where you can have an actual like sword fight and go on for a little bit with someone.
Yeah, there's been times where I've actually been happy with some of my fighting where I've actually fought somebody and we've gone back and forth with swords clanking, and you can see the sparks come
really
off. And it's like, oh, cool. And it's like this was like one of my better fights, instead of running in and swinging and missing and then getting my head chopped off.
Sometimes instead of running and swinging, you actually do have to use some coordination with the game.
Right. Yeah. And
it's not always the best to just run in and start swinging.
Yeah. You definitely got to use the block technique, because otherwise you will get yourself into trouble pretty quickly.
And there are throwables and other things the certain classes can use. Like one class can use a horn, and when that happens, it heals all nearby players to a certain extent. Yeah, and there's Molotovs. Yeah, a lot of them. You can 90% of the time you go into a match, you're bound to be set on fire.
Yeah.
Everyone likes the Molotovs.
Yeah. There's one of the ones where you're storming a castle area. You might be at the castle gate down below, and up above they might be throwing boulders down at you. And you can once you get into the castle, you can do the same thing. Go up and grab boulders and throw them down at other people. So it's pretty funny. There's a lot of different things, you can do with this thing. Yeah, you can grab barrels of like gunpowder to make explosions and stuff like that.
There's just a bunch of things you can do with this game, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There's nothing really like this game in terms of medieval games.
No. And there's a lot of news and updates and patches that are going on right now.
It's about every day. Every day I see a tweet from them at least once.
Right. Saying
something about something releasing or like something about fixing up things. They're on it.
Yeah.
They really care about the game.
Yeah. If you go to the Chivalry 2 website, you'll see it. There's all kinds of information they're constantly doing something with the game.
They even have a roadmap still with stuff coming out this year, and including cross-platform play. So you can play with people on PC and like Xbox and PlayStation, which would be really cool.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to look forward to in this game. It's I'm not really good at the fighting thing, but you just kind of just do whatever, do the best you can out there.
Before people start correcting me, there is cross-platform play on it already.
Oh,
but
okay.
you can't invite people to be on like your squad.
Mm-hmm.
Like how I can invite you on Xbox to join my game through there and you join
Mm-hmm.
my squad. You can't do that with people on a different console.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna be doing that later on down the year or
Oh,
down the
okay.
line of the year.
Okay. That's good to
But that's
know.
still really cool how they're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
But but yeah,
yeah.
I really enjoy Chivalry 2. It's one of my favorite games, honestly. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't play it too much, but whenever I do play, I do have a blast.
Mm.
It's one of those games I feel like you could just jump in when you're like, I don't know, if you're like angry about something, you can just join a game and just let off some steam by just swinging at people.
Yeah, right.
It's got to like relieve you in some way when you get a clean, like cutting off their head in a clean way when you're angry. It's got to feel somewhat refreshing.
Mm.
But
Yeah. Or throwing your sword or something through
yeah, exactly.
somebody's helmet and
They can't.
they're still
The
walking
bodies
around
do
with it.
react to it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bodies do react to it. The stuff sticks in their bodies.
Yeah, it does.
But
yeah, it's crazy.
I do really enjoy the game. I would have to give it I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the game a lot.
I'll give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Just for my viewpoint, it's the fighting can be a little tricky and it takes a while to get used to it. So it's not something that if you're a casual gamer, you're going to just pick up and be really good at. It
If
does
you play
take
like first person shooters, you probably get the hang of it within like an hour or two.
Yeah, it takes some really getting used to it. And even the amount of times that we've played it, it's still, big learning curve still for me, but it's a great game. Oh yeah, it's still a fun game though. It's there's times where it can be a little frustrating at times because you get killed like multiple times in a row and you're like, oh come on, so quickly, and it's like, come
Usually
on, really?
that will happen free for all.
Yeah, especially when it's like the same person that's killed you like several times, and it's like, oh come on. But it is satisfying though when you do get somebody and you're like, you just took out one person and then you turn around and you take out another person and you're like, all right, I'm actually on a roll now. I've actually taken out 2 or 3 people before they get killed. But you will die a lot in this game. I mean, I don't think anybody.
No doubt about it.
I don't think anybody.
There's not one person who hasn't been killed.
Yeah, this game you're gonna die a lot, and you respawn at the same location with everybody else and on your team, and then sometimes it's close to where everything's happening. Sometimes it's a little bit further away, but nothing too bad. But it's just be prepared. You're gonna die a lot in this game, but there's a lot to look forward to in this game. They've got a lot coming, and the graphics are really good. The fighting's good. Everything's good on it, and so it'll be interesting to see what type of battlefields and other things they bring into this. So be cool.
Yeah, pretty excited to see what they got coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so what are we doing next episode?
I don't know. What are we doing? We didn't decide.
We didn't. This would be a good time to place an intermission. So next episode, we're going to be playing Nobody Saves the World.
Nobody.
We saw this back, I think it was an Xbox event. I can't remember which one, but it was an Xbox event. Did I just say Xbox? Xbox. But this is basically a game where it's kind of like a roguelike, and you play as, well, they don't really have a name, so you just call Nobody. And you get to transform into various creatures using this magic wand you find. Or stole, depending on who you ask.
Oh, okay. Nice.
More to know when you listen to the episode.
Yeah, right.
When we save the world.
All right. Cool. All right.
Well, so stay indestructible, folks. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
All right. Peace.
Game over.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed the episode. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and if you go on our website with the same name, you can also find us on all the other kinds of stuff you can listen to us to. Anyways, hope you have a wonderful day, folks. Stay indestructible, and peace.